Chip's Corner on U.S. Farm Report is brought to you by Grounded. Spray smarter and improve herbicide performance with Grounded, a multifunctional adjuvant from Helena.
Chip Flory joining us now for Chip's Corner. Chip, typically in a USDA report week, that's the big news out of USDA, trying to digest the report, what it all means. But also this week, we heard that NASS is discontinuing a couple of reports. And Chip, we're not talking about small reports here.
No, we certainly are not. Let's start with a really big one, and that's the cattle inventory report that was coming our way in July. Now, we talked with Lance Honig from NASS earlier this week on AgriTalk, and it's about timing as much as it is funding time, because it took so long to get the baseline funding for USDA in place to begin with. A lot of the work that they would have done for that July cattle inventory report, it wasn't being done to begin with because they didn't have any funding. And now that it kind of forced their hand to make that final decision. But there are some of the other reports out there, and one in particular that really got the grain market's attention is no more county yields for crops. And that's going to have a big impact on how a lot of people make adjustments for some of the safety net programs that are out there.
A few years ago, from a crop insurance standpoint, our good friends and partners over at RMA have been utilizing a lot more of their own internal data to support those programs. And then, of course, we've always, thought about the ARC PLC programs, and our close friends over at FSA have also been tapping into a lot more of that RMA-driven data and a lot less of the NASS data. And so we've worked closely with them to ensure that the impact won't be as extensive as a lot of folks might think from the outside looking in.
Okay, Tyne, the county by county crop estimates, yield estimates, have been a point of discussion for a long time on whether or not that was something that NASS was going to continue. You heard Lance right there talk about the RMA and the FSA, how they both got county by county production numbers. It's almost a duplication of effort that they are trying to cut out of the costs of doing these surveys at NASS. And as a result, we end up with some data that a lot of people in the industry have grown accustomed to using over the years. You talk to the elevator guys, they look at that NASS county by county data as they're trying to make their plans for the year ahead on exactly where they're going to be drawing stocks from for the year. So it's going to change the way that the industry does some business.
And Lance acknowledged that. I know when you talked to him on AgriTalk, he acknowledged that for the industry folks, this would be a challenge. Okay, so that kind of makes sense. But it seems like discontinuing this cattle report is very short-sighted. I mean, I understand it's this year, budget this year, but it's going to go away for good, right?
Yeah, like Lance said, when they made this announcement, there was not a question mark on it. They made the announcement that the July cattle inventory report is going away. It is a piece of data, and as you made reference to, that we're going to be missing at a very critical time in this cattle industry in the cycle. We're trying to figure out exactly just how small the beef breeding herd might get. And we're trying to figure out exactly when the rebuilding is going to start.
Exactly. We have such tight supplies, cattle prices where they are. This just seems like really bad timing.
It is. And NCBA has made note of that and said, listen, they called it an arbitrary decision. It's not arbitrary. This is a report that has been under the microscope for a budget cut for a long time.
All right. Well, Chip, the explanation and you talking to Lance, it definitely gave some great perspective. So thank you for that. All right. Chip Flory, host of AgriTalk. You can catch him 10 a.m. weekdays for AgriTalk AM, 2 p.m. Central weekdays for AgriTalk PM. All right. We need to take a quick break, and then it's an end of an era for one industry in Texas. We'll tell you what that is next.